All right, welcome into another edition of That's Deep. I'm Tommy Z, joined as always by Johnny Bravo. We had a pretty solid card last week. Rose, man, another 3 minutes of cardio for Rose, and that would have been great. But overall, not a bad card. Not the greatest card coming into this one, but that's to be expected with 40-something cards a year. But we've got Thursday Night Football on right now. I got that on in the background. Johnny, what are your thoughts on this card? How do you feel going into it?
Yeah, last week's card was pretty terrible watching wise, pretty boring, but made some money, won a couple bets. Yeah, Rose completely gassing after 2 rounds after she's only been in 5-round fights and has gone the full 25 without a problem. Just gassed
Right.
after 2 rounds, which was pretty crazy.
Yep.
Moreno did the job. Albazi sucks. Moreno put it on him, won every round.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then coming into this card, it's a lot of drop offs, a lot of people we haven't seen in a while, and yeah, Apex 100. Let's go.
All right. Let's jump right into it here. I think we're down to 12 fights on the card. We're kicking off in the women's bantamweight division. We have Melissa Mullins taking on Claudia Segula. Segula making her debut. Mullins, I don't know what to think of her as of yet, but I think she's got some upside. What are your thoughts here?
Yeah, this is I mean, don't worry if you're late for this one. I mean, it's pretty bad fight. The Segula chick. I mean, I've watched a couple fights of hers. I really don't know where she's good at, and the level of competition she was fighting, I don't think is very good at all either. So we really
Yeah.
don't know about her, what to expect here. And Melissa Mullen, she's minus 260. I mean, she should win the fight. I mean, she's pretty much got advantages everywhere. She's going to be the stronger girl. I think she could probably get takedowns here at will. But I mean, do you want to lay minus 260 with Melissa Dixon,
Right.
formerly? No,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah,
So
I'm
I
with
don't
you.
know. This might
I
be
don't. I don't.
another like live spot opportunity like we did last week with what's her name in the first fight too.
Fourth. Yeah.
Yeah, with Horth, or she maybe loses the first round and we can get a better number on her. Maybe
Yeah. That could
Segula
be.
can
That
sneak
could be
out round
possible.
one and then gas after she's coming in on short notice.
Right.
So yeah, that's all I got here. Probably
Yeah.
Mullins.
I don't think this Segula girl. I mean, her level of competition has not been good. She's mostly been to decisions in her fights. She has finished 2 recently, which you got to give her credit for that. But yeah, I don't know what to expect from her. I don't think Mullins is a killer, so I could see this fight going long. So maybe looking at the overs, I guess we'll see what they look like. But yeah, not a fight that I'm overly interested in. I think Mullins is going to win, but yeah, I'm not gonna stake my night on this fight by any stretch. Our next fight is in this is a middleweight division. Yeah, middleweight division. We've got Trayshawn Gore taking on Antonio Tricoli. Tricoli in his debut, I guess, against Shara Bullet, kind of gave me a scare. I was heavy on Shara Bullet in that fight. Tricoli he was halfway across the world expecting to fight the following week. He got pulled in and fought Shara Bullet in June or July, and he had a decent showing for the most part. He kind of gassed out late, and then Shara Bullet took him out. But yeah, I mean, he didn't look terrible. I thought he was going to be just awful. And taking on Trayshawn Gore here, who's, I mean, I'm not high on this kid at all. Good fight, interesting fight. What are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I was high on Trayshawn Gore coming into the UFC. I mean, he had a good performance on Tough. I mean, made it to the finale, I think, and lost to Brian Battle. It was pretty much got beat up. But he looked good at the house. I mean, he was knocking fools out. I mean, it's just he's unexperienced. He's only 4-2. He's only had like 6 fights. And then his other, his fights in the UFC, the Brian Battle fight wasn't the best showing, and then Cody Brundage knocks him out, which is not really. I mean, when is Cody Brundage knocking anybody out?
Right.
Yeah, but then he guillotines old boy, like just power choke friend and just puts him to sleep. There's the potential I think is there for this kid, but I don't know. He can't really stay healthy. It seems like he's just always hurt. Like his last fight, he pulled out against Bo Nickel. I think he's supposed to fight Bo Nickel. He pulled out because of injury. I mean, I wouldn't want to fight Bo Nickel either. So yeah, any little injury, I'm pulling out. So yeah, I don't know. And Trocoli, I mean, he's like, I mean, the guy is not very good. I don't think. I mean, his striking sucks. I mean, I guess where he's strong at would be probably getting it to the ground, but I don't know if he's going to be able to get Gore down and hold him down. Gore's a pretty powerful guy, and he could work his way back up to the feet. I think he keeps it on the feet, and I think he pieces Trocoli up, and probably, I mean, if he catches him, I mean, Gore's got power. I mean, if he catches him, he could put him away, I think. I mean, this guy sucks, Trocoli. So, yeah, the pick for me is Gore by knockout. And yeah, like knockout 2-3.
Yeah, I think they're both bad. I'm taking the shot on Tricoli here. I threw a half unit on him. I threw it on the sheet. I think the numbers dropped a little bit. He was 160 plus 160 when I bet it. I think it's come down. I think he's in like the plus 140 range. I'm just not high on Gore. He's got the win over Fremd, and part of the reason why I hate Fremd so much is because of that fight. I just realized he's just not good at that point. So yeah, I'm just not a big fan of Gore. He's got some knockout potential. I think if I were to bet him, that's how I would bet him. But yeah, I think Tricoli can keep it close. I think he can, get the grappling going a little bit and get the job done. Took a half unit shot on it, but yeah, just two bad fighters. Take a shot there.
Yeah, at the money line price, it's for sure Trocoli here.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Gore probably catches him.
Yeah, I could see it happening. Again, 2 fights back to back. Not really high on either fight. There's some fights on here on the card that I do think are decent spots. We haven't got to them yet, so we'll move along. Our next fight is in the bantamweight division. We have Cody Stamann taking on Daman Blackshear. Blackshear is a bit of an enigma for me, man. He's looked absolutely incredible at times, and then we saw in his last fight, he gets knocked out with a straight punch down the middle real quick, and it's over. So tough. It's Cody Stamann. He's a tough out. Pretty low volume, but overall pretty solid game. Very good matchup here, I think, on paper. What are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, this is an interesting one. I mean, Cody Stamann, kind of that cardio guy that's not really good anywhere, but just enough everywhere. I guess he's got decent striking. His reach isn't very good. I mean, he's got a terrible reach, but I mean, boxing is okay. I mean, he has no power in his hands when he's throwing. His grappling wrestling is pretty decent. I mean, and he's just one of those middle of the road guys. And Blackshear, I mean, he's got the highlight reel sub, the twister sub. I mean, he's going to want to get his grappling going, I would think, here and take him down. His cardio is not the greatest. We've seen him kind of slow down in fights. And then Montel Jackson just put him out with pretty much a jab. One first punch that hit him, he pretty much went out, which is kind of concerning coming back here. But I don't know if Stamann's got the power to put him out. That's the thing. So this is kind of a tough one. I think maybe like a Cody Stamann plus 3.5 might be something to look at. Yeah, but I don't know. Maybe Blackshear can get a sub because we've seen him sub before, so that
Right.
would be my concern on that. But yeah, I'm at the number. I don't like Blackshear at minus 300. I would play maybe like a sub prop or play the
Yeah.
Stamann plus 3.5. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm on Blackshear to win this fight. I don't know how. But Cody Stamann's pretty durable and he makes every fight competitive. So I hear you with the 3.5. I think that's live. I don't know what the number is though, so I can't imagine it's a great number. I was thinking about Blackshear by decision
Minus
or
125.
for the 3.5.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's not bad, honestly. I mean, I expect Stamann to be in the fight pretty much the whole time. That's why the money line's just absolutely crazy. We know how the judging is, so it's got to be pretty one-sided to get a clean decision. And yeah, I think Stamann keeps it close. I think the plus 3.5 is definitely live. I think I'll probably, if I'm going to bet it, I might be betting Blackshear by decision because I think we can get 3 rounds out of this fight. I know Blackshear's got good submissions. He's definitely live in that department, but Stamann's a tough out. He's going to make it a tough fight, and I think he could definitely. I think it goes 3 rounds. So yeah, the plus 3.5 on Stamann is good, or the decision on Blackshear is good. I do officially think Blackshear wins the fight, but yeah, very, very competitive fight for sure. Our next fight is one I kind of went back and forth on for a little while. Still, again, there's not a lot of confidence with either one of these guys at all. We got Matthew Semelsberger, who's got he's got power. He's got pretty good striking. Volume's not always there. Taking out Charles Radke, he's shown some good striking, some good power. We saw him get crushed to the body by Prates, who we're going to be talking about later. Yeah, I mean, these guys are, I feel like it's just flip a coin here. I think Radke's got the more overall skill, but Semelsberger with the power is definitely a threat. What are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I've kind of flip flop back and forth on this one too. I mean, Semelsberger's a guy that always kind of lets you down. I mean,
Yeah,
it's crazy. This guy, I mean, his fight IQ is pretty terrible. I mean, he jumps gilly all the time. I mean, he puts himself in bad spots, and then like he hurts people, and then he never finishes up. Like he'll drop he drops somebody, he hurts somebody every fight, but he never seems to get that one knockout. You know, he never can
right.
get that knockout and finish him. So it's like I don't know if I could trust this guy with my money. You know, he's let me down many times before. You know, where he comes out looking good round one, and then just to hold just bad fight IQ and just loses the fight. You know, and Radke, you can't really trust this guy either. I mean, yeah, I mean, he's had a couple good performances, but I mean, he's also not like you know, his debut was pretty a terrible fight with what's his name Izzy's boy, the
Blood Diamond.
Blood Diamond. I mean, that performance was pretty terrible.
Yeah.
Um, you know, and I don't know. This is kind of a hit or miss fight. I'm going to lean Semelsberger here. Gets the job done just at the dog price. He's going to be the bigger guy. He's going to have the longer reach. He's going to have the power. I think he probably can catch Radke and put him away. I think he could, but you never know with this guy. So yeah, pick Semelsberger.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, man. I was kind of leaning Radke for a bit, but it's just the more I think about it, it just feels like a Semelsberger spot. He's lost a few in a row. He seems like he's down and out, but he's still, he's not an old guy. Like I thought maybe he was getting older, and that was kind of hindering some performances. But he's not really. He's mid-30s. Radke, he's not a spring chicken either. So yeah, I don't think either guy's great. And yeah, the power's there with Semelsberger. If he puts it all together, I think he gets it done at dog price. I think he's worth a shot. So yeah, I'll ride with you on Semelsberger there.
Let's go.
Our next fight is in the welterweight division. We have Zeleski dos Santos taking on Zack Scoggins. Zack, this is funny because Scoggins, I'm pretty sure, was here because his teammate was on the card, Miles Johns, who's no longer on the card. He was supposed to fight Cody Garbrandt, but that fight has been scrapped. So Scoggins was in town, and dos Santos needed an opponent. He stepped up. Now Scoggins making his debut here. From what I've seen of him, I don't think he's anything special. I think this is probably a dos Santos spot. But what are your thoughts here?
Yeah, this should be dos Santos all day long. I mean, he should run right through this guy. I mean, we know what we got here. I mean, we've seen his Benoit St. Denis performance. He is getting older. He's 37. Might be slowing down a bit, but towards this level of competition, I mean, Zack Scoggins, I mean, he's not good. He is not UFC level. The guys he's fighting are like mechanics out of the fucking, the auto shop,
Yeah.
Yeah, this guy is not good. He's going to get absolutely smashed here. Yeah, this is, probably round one, Zeleski.
All right, yeah, I'm with you. I honestly I don't even know what the odds look like on this fight yet, but yeah, I think
minus
it's probably
750.
okay.
Minus
Yeah,
750.
So one-sided completely.
Yeah.
So we can move along from this one. We're on the same page there. Our next fight is this one's actually pretty interesting. We've got a bantamweight fight between Gaston Bolanos taking on Kentavious Ramos. I mean, Bolaños is solid. He's got good striking. Not great. Ramos making his debut. I believe this is his debut in the UFC. Coming off Contender Series. Pretty competitive fight here. What are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, this is an interesting one. I mean, we've seen Kentavious in Contender twice. First time he came in and got completely starched and put to bed with the first punch, pretty much. Yeah. And then a second showing, I mean, wasn't his greatest, but I mean, he got the job done. It was against a tough guy, Yeah, I did a lot of tape study on this guy. So yeah, pretty much, I mean, you would think his game plan here would be to wrestle, but sometimes it's just fight IQ is not very good. I mean, he's got decent striking, decent power in his hands. I think he kind of falls in love with his hands a little bit. And when he should be, like, he can pretty much get that wrestling going, but I don't trust his cardio. I don't think it's very good. Yeah, but the Bolaños, I mean, the thing about Bolaños is if he could keep it standing on the feet, I mean, he's definitely levels above Romeus, So it's a tough one. If it's on the feet, then I think Bolaños pretty much wears down on him. But if Kentavious can get the wrestling going, I think he can pretty much just. I don't know. This is a tough one. I'm leaning here, taking the dog shot with Bolaños. I think he probably eventually catches him and puts him away. I'm not very high on Romeus, so yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat. I figure it's one of those fights with debuting fighter where he might have a little success in the wrestling early, but if it's not completely dominant, or if he just uses a little too much energy, he could get picked apart on the feet later on in the fight. So yeah, I'm gonna take the dog shot with Bolaños here. Competitive, fun fight. But yeah, I just think if he's failing on takedowns later in the fight, it's going to be a problem. So I'll take Bolaños in this one. Our next fight is in the women's strawweight division. We have Karolina Kowalik taking on Denise Gomes. This is a pretty interesting fight here. Gomes, obviously the younger up and comer. Kowalik, been there, done that. She's been around for quite some time. She's getting definitely towards the end of her career. She's had a bit of a resurgence over the past year and a half or so. But you never know when that drop off is going to come. Competitive fight, I think. Here, what are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, this one is. I mean, the odds are kind of crazy. Like -500 for Denise Gomez. I mean,
Yeah, it's
I
strange.
get it. Carolina, she's decent. She's just like that middle of the road chick, that she's pretty much
Yeah,
well rounded everywhere, but she is 39 years old, which is kind of getting up there. But Denise Gomez isn't really a world beater. She's got a lot of power on the feet, but to be -500 is just kind of crazy. But she does have she has heat in her hands, and if she lands one of those bombs on Carolina, it might be good night. So it's probably Gomes by knockout, but I don't know, -500. There's not really much you can do with that. The
yeah, it's
knockout
tight.
is the knockout. What is the knockout price? Fight will end by KO and +250. Yeah, so I'd probably take a shot on. Oh, here it is. +275. If I'm gonna bet it, I'm probably gonna bet it. I'm probably gonna take Denise Gomez by knockout or knockout 2 or 3 and get like a nice fat price on it. Take a shot here because
Yeah, that's not a bad look. The money line price is just outrageous. I mean, if it goes to decision, um, Kowalik puts up volume. We've seen her put up well over 100 strikes and 2, maybe 3 out of the last 4 fights she's been in. She's put up big time volume. So if it goes 3 rounds, I think it's competitive. Yeah, I mean, Gomes has the power. She could definitely catch her with something big. That would probably be a decent way to bet. But yeah, I think this fight's a lot closer than the odds would say. Could be one of those deals though, where Gomes just comes out and just starches her, and it looks like, okay, this is definitely the end of the road. We haven't really seen that from Kowalik. She's looked good, at least competitive in all of her fights to this point. So I like Gomes to win. I guess the knockout shot would be worth a sprinkle. But yeah, I definitely think it's going to be a bit of a sweat.
yep, could be. Kowalik can make it greasy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our next fight is another interesting one. We've got another Contender Series guy, middleweight division. We got Mansur Abdul Malik making his debut, taking on Dusko Todorovic. Dusko, very good kickboxer, skilled, leaves his head out there. He's been chin checked a few times. Malik is strong. He's got a very strong top game, good wrestler. He's kind of herky-jerky on the feet. He's got big power. He's extremely dangerous, but still a pretty raw fighter in terms of striking ability. What are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I like this one here. I like Abdul here. I did a lot. This guy. His tape is pretty good. His takedowns. He's gonna want to blast double, get you down, and just land that vicious like ground and pound. Where he's gonna, if he gets on top, he's getting you out of there. Like that ground and pound is pretty sick.
Yeah,
On the feet, he's got power on the feet. He's pretty good. But the thing is, questions if he get all of his fights end like in round 1, so it's like you don't really know if when he gets extended how he's gonna react.
Yeah.
So it's like if the fight can get extended and Dusko can make him work, how is he going to look later in the fight? You know, Dusko coming off that injury, torn ACL, not the most durable guy, can get chin checked. You know, I'm not really high on him. I don't think he's very good. I don't know how much he's got left in the tank. You know, you coming off that injury, he's been knocked out, he's been finished before, he's coming off that knee. How is he going to be able to move in there? And I think Abdul probably just takes him right down and just gets that highlight reel debut. I think this is a setup fight here. I mean, the UFC obviously liked this guy. They're
Yeah.
giving him. I think, yeah, this is Abdul for me all day. Probably round 1.
Yeah. The one thing I did like about the Contender Series fight was he did end up getting into the second round.
Yeah.
So we got to see a little bit of his cardio, and you know, it was a decent fight. I thought maybe he was slowing down a little bit, but he got the fight to the ground, and he just unleashed the fury. And I feel like you can get at least a solid 2 rounds out of him, cardio wise, and against a guy who's very chinny and who can't stop a takedown. And once the fight's on the ground, you know, Todorovic he's got some good jiu-jitsu. He could throw up some subs. Could be kind of dangerous early, but we've seen him get taken down and beat up on the ground. And yeah, I just think Malik can catch him with something on the feet, just throwing wild haymakers. But more than likely, I think he gets the fight to the ground and just ground and pound, heavy damage, and gets him out of there.
Yep.
All right, our next fight is in the women's strawweight division. We have another pretty lopsided fight in terms of the odds. We have Luana Pinheiro taking on Jillian Robertson. Robertson, nasty submission game, very good grappler. Her striking has improved over the years. Still not great, but she's she's coming along. And but mostly she wants to get these fights to the ground. Pinheiro, very dangerous early. She's powerful. She starts fast. She's aggressive. She has some pretty decent wrestling of her own, but cardio is a massive question with her. And I would imagine against Robertson, who's going to be wrestling, that's probably going to come into play. But what are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I mean, Robertson, I mean, she's paid us out before. You know, if you've been here for a while, you know, you've seen we've made a lot of money off her, you know, in certain spots. And, you know, she's kind of hit or miss in matchup wise. You know, I faded her and I've made money on her, you know.
Right, yeah.
It's the girls that give her trouble are the girls that can stuff the takedowns and keep it on the feet, you know, and her striking is less than desirable. It's not good at all. But once she gets it to the ground, it's a whole nother like game. Like her top control is good subs. I mean, can land some ground and pound. I mean, she's great if she can get it to the mat, you know. And you know, Pinheiro is kind of the girl that's like she's got like probably 7 minutes cardio, if that, maybe 5.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen her completely gas. I mean, she can come out and look great in round 1, and then she just falls off a cliff and just it's either she's getting finished or she's just getting beat down. Yeah, I think Robertson isn't going to have any problems here getting this to the ground. I think she gets it to the ground, and I'll be looking at the sub prop for sure.
Yeah, I'm with you. I thought about taking Robertson round 2 just because I think Pinheiro could have a good first round where she kind of, you know, she makes it a little bit tough. But I just expect fully if it does get into the second round, Robertson just steamrolls her. And I can't imagine this fight going all 3 rounds. I just don't think the cardio's there. I think Robertson probably gets her out in round 2 or 3. She could get her out in the first round too. We've seen it before. She gets the fight to the ground, gets her back, and it's over. But I like Robertson here. I like Robertson by sub. And yeah, I kind of, we'll see what the price is, but I kind of like a shot on the round 2. I think she can.
Round 2 sub?
Yeah.
Got it right here. Round 2 sub plus 450.
That's not as good as I would have thought, but so I think it's solid though. I mean,
Get the
I
round
could
3
see
sub at
Pinheiro
9-1.
putting up a good fight for the first round, and if she does, she's going to have nothing left for round 2, and she's just going to get finished. She almost reminds me of what's his name? Amir Khani, Makwan Amir Khani, where she's very good first round, dangerous, and second round just completely falls off a cliff. I bet against that guy like the last 3 fights he had in the UFC, I bet him to lose in round 2.
I mean, the fight to not go is minus 200. When do you see that in a women's fight?
Yeah, you don't see that ever. Sheesh. So I think Jillian, I think she gets her out of there, and if it's probably in rounds 1 or 2. If it went to round 3, I think that's live as well. I think at some point the cardio is just going to be completely gone, and Jillian's going to do what she does. She's going to find a neck, and it's going to be over.
Yeah.
All right, we move on. We've got another interesting one. We've got another debuting fighter here. Another grappling affair, I would think. We've got Gerald Meerschaert taking on Reinier de Ridder. De Ridder making his UFC debut. He's been in 1. He's got championships in 1. He's a strong grappler, very good fighter. But yeah, I don't know, man. Meerschaert as a big dog, he's come through quite a few times, and I think these guys are going to be grappling, so it's going to be an interesting one. What are your thoughts here?
Yeah, I mean, de Ridder, I mean, we pretty much know him. If you watch one, you pretty much know, like, if you watch one, you pretty much know, like, what you're getting out of him. You know, he's been around. He's fought all the way up at heavyweight. He's a champion. You know, great BJJ. You know, good wrestling. I mean, his striking is pretty good too. You know, we have seen him get overpowered. It's fucking car alarm, bro.
The whole the riots going down over there in Cali. These are the things that happen after a presidential election.
All right, we're back. So yeah, like, fuck, man. Yeah, so pretty much, I mean, you know what you're getting out of him. You know, we've seen him overpowered before by bigger guys, but he's fighting up like at heavyweight. He's making the drop down to 185 here. You know, I mean, Meerschaert, though, he's that tough dog. You know what you're going to get out of him. You know, he's just going to be that, you know, he usually has, when guys gas out and he could take over late and kind of lock in that submission. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to be able to out grapple the Ridder. I think the Ridder's going to just be able to overpower him. And I think, honestly, if he keeps it on the feet, I think he can starch him. I think he can put Meerschaert out. We've seen Meerschaert knocked out before. That chin is questionable. We've seen him dropped and hurt before. And I think de Ridder can use that tie clinch and catch him with like a knee to the body or like an elbow or something and put him out. I don't know. I see him knocking him out. I don't know. I think everybody's going for the sub, which makes, I mean, he's got wicked, crazy, nasty subs. But yeah, I think he can knock him out. Yeah. I'm gonna take a chance on Ridder by knockout. That he catches that chin.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Like, Ridder is a good grappler, but Meerschaert has been knocked out 4 times in his career, which is not crazy considering the amount of fights he's had. But, you know, the Joe Pyfer knockout, Joe Pyfer's got big power. Hamzat, he's got some pretty, you know, he's Hamzat. He got knocked out by Ian Heinisch, though, which is a bit, that's a bit questionable. So, yeah, definitely that chin has been tested in the past. He's been dropped. He's been wobbled. And like you said, you know, he's a live dog. And when he can get guys worn out and tired, that's when he does good work. But de Ridder's been there, man. He's been in those championship fights at 1. So even though he's making his UFC debut, he's definitely fought on bigger stages. I mean, this is an Apex card. This is this is, like a sparring session for him, honestly.
Yeah.
So yeah, I could see DeRitter knocking him out. But again, like, if they do go back and forth in the grappling, it could be interesting. But yeah, I think DeRitter could get him out of there, and that's not a bad way to look at it by KO. Make sure I got this next fight pulled up. I do not. Our next fight is in the bantamweight division. This one, I'm really looking forward to watching. We've got Ricky Tercios. There we go. Oh, I'm all bottled up here. There we go. Eventually we'll get it. There we go. We got Ricky Tercios taking on Bernardo Sopai. We saw Sopai make his debut a little less earlier this year. Looked like an absolute killer, dominant through 2 rounds. He was taking it on short notice. He kind of gassed out, and then he took a bad knockout to lose that fight. But I mean, everything he showed was very good. His grappling looked good. He looked like, I mean, we were all excited about this kid, and then he just got a little bit tired, and then just took that brutal knockout. Taking on Tercios, who, I mean, I'm not worried about Tercios knocking him out, but cardio-wise, Tercios is going to be there the whole time. He's always going to make it an interesting fight. His takedown defense is not good, which favors Sopai big time. What are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, this is an interesting one. I mean, we've seen Sapai on his debut. I mean, he came out. I was on Oliveira in that fight, and he came out and he kind of impressed. Like, he looked like a world beater for 8 minutes, and then just completely gassed. And Oliveira just took over, started landing big shots, and then eventually caught him with I would say, one of the knockouts of the year. I mean, that knock, that flying knee was pretty sick. I mean,
yeah,
he's coming back here. Has his chin healed. I don't know, probably not. But is Tercios the guy to really put him out? I don't think so. I mean, Tercios. I mean, this guy is like hit or miss. Like, he can go out there and look good and put up 100 strikes, or he can not throw anything and look terrible. Throw a lot of empty volume, just not connecting, just a lot of just not, just looking busy. I don't know. This is a tough one for me. This is another one where the price minus 260 on, like, I think right now 285 on Sapai. I mean, I just can't get there on a money line, and I don't see him finishing. Maybe a Sapai decision, but I don't know. I think Tercios is live here if he can keep it on the feet and extend it and make it greasy. I mean, I think Tercios is a live dog. I kind of take a little half unit jammy on. Oh, Sapai's up to 340 now.
Yeah, the money line is tough, dude.
I mean, it's Tercios plus 270. Can't keep it close.
Like, the thing about it is that scares me is, but again, he was fighting a phenom, but Tercios just came out and got absolutely waxed by Raul Rosas Jr., who's, he's an extremely dangerous grappler, and he's a heavy finisher when he's not getting extended. So could Sapai come out and do something similar? I think it's possible, but I don't want to overrate the kid's skills based on a fight against Vinicius Oliveira. Although Oliveira looks good, I do think that kid's really good too. But yeah, it's tough because it feels like it's a 3-round fight. Tercios is generally pretty durable. But yeah, I don't know. I just think with Sapai coming back after that knockout, like, you don't know what to expect. He could be a little bit more hesitant, which could lead to a 3-round fight. Skill-wise, I think he's got the skills to take Tercios down, control this fight, and win. And I think him to win by decision is probably a pretty good bet. But yeah, I don't know. Tercios is also, he's been hit or miss, and you don't really know what you get from him. But I do know he's durable and he's tough. So yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll play this one by ear. It could be definitely a live spot, especially if Sapai comes out and just ragdolls him in the first round. Tercios could be live, get a good price there. But yeah, I think it's an interesting fight. I think it's going to be fun. Right now, I don't know. I mean, Sapai would be the pick for me, but I don't know how I'd want to bet it. Which brings us is this we're at the main event?
Main event. Yeah, we're at the main event.
We blew through this. All right, so we got welterweight main event. We got Neil Magny, the old gatekeeper, he's been around for quite some time, and he's turned back a few prospects, taking on Carlos Prates, who I kind of call the welterweight Poetan. He's just kind of doesn't really wow you with anything until he's finishing the fight by knockout. He's just out of nowhere. He just kills guys. Obviously, Magny is known for his cardio. It's a 5-round fight. If he extends the fight, what kind of cardio does Prates have? We don't really know. But Prates, over the course of 5 rounds with that power, feels like he can find the button at some point. What are your thoughts here?
Yeah, and I mean, this is a rough main event. I mean, Neil Magny in a main event in 2024 is
it's
it's a rough one. We pretty much we know what we're getting out of the guy. I mean, he's got good wrestling. I mean, the striking is decent. I mean, I guess, but I mean, he's going to want to grapple here to kind of like wear on Prates, make him hold his body weight, get body locks, get to the back, trying to hold him, push him up on the cage, hold him there. Because that range, I mean, we know Prates. We've seen what he can do at range. I mean, he's just a sniper, a sharpshooter. Like, he'll piece you up. And really, the Leech fight was really impressive, what he did to Leech. I mean, he kind of showed more volume than I expected, and he was touching him, man. Yeah, I mean, this is one-way traffic probably, unless Magny can make it greasy and kind of get the wrestling going, I guess. But yeah, if this is on the feet, yeah, this is Prates knockout all day long, and I think it is going to be. And I think eventually puts him to sleep. Another highlight reel knockout here. So I was thinking about what the numbers would be on like a Prates 2, 3, 4 KO, because I definitely think Magny can survive a little bit. Yeah. So yeah, where I was going to look, I've already got it. Whenever they drop it, I'm going to bet it. It's the Prates 2, 3, 4 KO. I think that's the spot there.
I like that for sure. Yeah, I mean, if Magny gets the wrestling going, I don't think it's even really going to be him successfully wrestling. I think it would be just him holding him against the cage. Prates does have pretty good takedown defense. Magny's not a D1 wrestler by any stretch either. He just wants to lean. He'll get guys to the ground, but it's not like he's just going to come out shooting doubles and being successful. I think he's going to try to wear on him, hold him up against the cage, which I guess he could have some success with early. But Prates, he's dangerous with the knees. We saw that in that Radke fight. I mean, he was just kind of setting him up. He was just kind of toying with him, keeping his hand out, and then boom, and left knee just from hell. So he's dangerous everywhere. And yeah, I don't think Magny is a massive threat in terms of, getting him down and just doing a lot of good work on the ground. If he got him tired and Prates' cardio falls off a cliff after 2 or 3 rounds, that could be interesting. But yeah, I think Prates gets him out of there. I think he kicks his legs off. Number one, we saw Ian Gary do that. I think that's a very good path for Prates as well. But yeah, I think the 2, 3, 4 bet definitely very live. I think
and these fighting nerds, These fighting nerds are
Yeah.
on a fucking roll, man. This
Yeah,
gym
like
is just on fire. This
I've
is
tried
the
to
hottest
question
gym right
these
now.
guys, too many
Yeah.
times, and I'm done. I'm done questioning these guys. They are legit. They're all legit. Yeah, I'm not questioning them until I see otherwise. These guys are legit, all of them. So yeah, I mean that's it, man. We've got as usual, we are live. There's the NASCAR finale this weekend. We've got the trucks, the Xfinity, and the Cup championship races Friday, Saturday, Sunday. NFL obviously all day Sunday, college football Saturday, UFC Saturday. So it will be a busy weekend here at Nuke the House, as it always is. We have been cruising along the past couple months. We're crushing. Everybody's crushing on the site. So if you haven't signed up, sign up, nukethehouse.com. And come win some money. Come watch along. Let's have some fun. And we'll cash some tickets. Johnny, you got anything else to add?
Oh, no, that's it. Good luck with your bets, and see you guys this weekend.
All right, guys. That said, we're out of here. For Johnny, I'm Tommy. Good luck this weekend.
Laters.